No one's getting any sleep in this room tonight. Published by Amma Media Channel in April of 2022. A woman is trying to catch some Z's in bed when a poltergeist takes over the room. First, it causes this baby swing to jerk around erratically, which wakes the woman up. She gets up and holds it still, which it is for a moment, but then it starts to swing like crazy again. The woman seems to think it's the wind. She checks the window. When the chair is still again, something flies from off the top of the wardrobe. A moment later, the closet door creaks open and then swings open further. The baby swing starts moving briefly. A moment later, something creepy appears in the mirror of the wardrobe door. What is it? But I'd guess that it's what's causing all the chaos. While staying at a hotel room in Ireland, Roisin O'Brien grabs her dad to show him something bizarre. A ghost is moving a cup on its own, she tells him. Of course, nothing happens and she looks like a total liar until suddenly...
Don't wash it. That's freaky.
The cup moves all by itself to the edge of the glass shelf and then stops. There is no string around it that I can see, and besides, she is holding her phone and her dad is sitting on the bed clear across the room with his back turned, so no one was messing with it. She resets it, and as soon as she complains that it takes the ghost a long time, the cup moves instantly.
Like it's taken ages for it to go, you see.
So let's just say there was string tied around the cup. Her father is now standing to the right of her, so if it was him, then the cup should pull to the right in his direction. Instead it moves straight ahead and stops exactly on the edge of the shelf, same as before. The shelf is level and there is no moisture around the rim to make it slide like that. This is glass on glass, you can hear the friction.
Ages for it to go, you see.
She's right. The cup is moving on its own, maybe from a ghost. There is a haunted painting somewhere in this art gallery in Birmingham, UK. The only problem is Ted Whitehall isn't sure which painting it is, so he calls a pastor to hold an exorcism and cleanse every last one of them. Something demonic is determined not to let that happen.
Take it from this place. It has no place here, Lord, and I cast this out in the name, and I bind it in the mighty...
An angry ghost keeps slamming the door. It hates whenever the pastor talks about being cast out and keeps doing its best to interrupt him.
I cast you out and bind you in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of...
Persistent pastor pushes aside his fear and fires off the final words. You can hear the defeated spirit walk away.
Cast it into the pit, Lord, and bind it forever. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus.
That could just be somebody off camera walking away, so let's turn our attention towards the chair, which Ted says is made of cast iron. Can anybody tell me if this is really made out of cast iron? If so, it should weigh a ton and be virtually impossible to move. To call this paranormal activity would be an understatement. This is one powerful painting. While exploring this haunted asylum, the shifting energy is unsettling. Listen closely and you might catch all the oddities and EVPs in this haunted place. As the crew first enters the dark hallway, a strange sound is recorded. And another as they enter a larger room. They get a spooky feeling by this door, and they capture an energy here. The EMF meter keeps going off in the same area. What is in this room? Whatever it is, I think it doesn't want to fully reveal itself. A couple of friends are driving around late at night, probably just to unwind for the day and have a good time with one another. During the drive, one of the guys in the car says that he thinks he saw some sort of animal, like a buck wandering around in the bushes right next to them. It almost seems like they are about to get out of the vehicle to take a closer look, but as you'll find out why in just a second, it's a good thing they didn't.
I thought I seen a big buck or something. Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that? Dude, that's what a...
What the heck? Look how big its arm span is, like arm, upper torso, and then the middle part of its torso just looks so thin along with its legs. Like it's just so built on just like the upper part of its body here. It's just super, super bizarre. And its skin almost looked gray. One more time here.
You seen a big buck or something? Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that? Dude, that's what a... Wait, stop right there. What is that? Is that a buck? What is that? Dude, that's what a...
Besides the obvious creature jumping in the woods that oddly resembles the urban legend a rake, a lot of people in the comments are confused as to where the YouTube channel Paranormal News received this video, because the channel is Russian owned, but as you can tell, the men in the video are very much so American. Regardless of who it was filmed by though, this is one creature you would never want to see. Even if it is fake, it would startle you, especially this late at night. If you are considering visiting an abandoned house on your own, take this video as a warning. YouTuber Joey CCTV set out to explore this abandoned house. As he sets foot inside, he announces his arrival, but no one answers.
Is anybody upstairs? Speak now. It doesn't mean that they'll speak.
But after a moment though, he hears something.
I just heard something.
Is he just hearing things? Nope.
There's somebody walking upstairs. Come on. Who's walking upstairs?
Let's head upstairs to find out. He hears an EVP on the staircase and then makes a break for it. There's no question that someone or something is upstairs, but I'd like to know whether it's people or paranormal. Is this place haunted? Or is there a person squatting here? I guess the answer to that question will remain a mystery for now. When the paranormal team Cazadores de Sombras went to investigate this ritual site, what they found was a living nightmare. As they approached the site, they find what appears to be a body levitating high above a fire pit.
Que isso aí, galera?
They later hear something in the surrounding woods.
No damn vida. Norte first. Sai, Lutz. Os caras vindo. Vai. Os caras gritando, velho. Os caras gritando lá.
Now, back in the safety of their vehicle, they're left to ponder what their eyes saw. Without context, it's difficult to know what's going on here. Is this person being levitated by some dark magic? And for what purpose? I can't provide any insight on this one, but I do know that I'm super creeped out by the events here. This Airbnb promises you a terrible night's sleep. Published by Chelsea Luna in October of 2020, this scary video takes you on a tour of America's most haunted Airbnb. Chelsea's creepy overnighter begins with a hiss.
What does that mean?
She looks around but sees nothing. Her dog doesn't take kindly to this place and starts barking at nothing. When she asks if there's anyone there, she hears a whistle.
Is anyone in here?
And later a knock sounds at the door, setting off the dog alarm.
Jeez!
After a while, she heads outside only to hear more disturbing noises. Back inside, she finds red liquid on the wall and later feels something right behind her.
Is there a spirit?
Oh my gosh.
Quiet.
As they're later talking to a demon named Raymond, a water bottle falls on its own, startling them. They continue talking to the spirit when something loud is heard. It looks like an object flies in Chelsea's face.
Are you a demon?
As the pair are considering leaving the haunted Airbnb to grab a coffee at Starbucks, you hear a loud thump.
I'll just drive. I don't care. I'm down to go.
What narrow side of the gas station get chocolate shop?
Sounds like Raymond, the demon, doesn't want them to go. Would you ever purchase a house knowing that somebody passed away in it? Post it to TikTok by Don't Be an Ash Hole. This person wasn't bothered, that is, until she ripped up the carpet. On the floorboards, a body outline is found with the case number and dates written beneath one arm.
I wasn't bothered knowing someone died in my new house. But imagine my surprise when I ripped up the floor.
There's also a stain on one side of the outline. So did the person just pass away, or was his life taken? Some are debating in the comments whether this is real or not, saying that the floorboards would be replaced as a biohazard, and that they don't draw these outlines anymore, as doing so can contaminate evidence. So is this just a trick by previous homeowners, as some TikTokers are suggesting? Talk about leaving a mark on a place. On March 17th, 2021, members of Museo del Horror traveled to a derelict building in an unknown city in Mexico, live streaming the entire adventure. Just after beginning their investigation, the group ventures to the side of the building. As they come to some stairs on the side, a faint growl can be heard on the audio. None of the participants noticed it during filming, but viewers were quick to point it out in the comments. It sounds either like a growl or an attempt to whisper something, but it is difficult to determine what. From here, they enter the building, which is hollowed out and falling apart. Nothing of note happens until just after the 40-minute mark of the stream. A high-pitched noise can be heard, almost like a screech or another hiss, albeit longer than the previous one heard. It's also possible that this was the sound of something rubbing against another object, similar to metal rubbing against metal. The last speculation is it could be someone breathing in, possibly one of the explorers, although nobody else seems to be around except Alfondo holding the camera, and he starts speaking before the sound goes away.
Si está bien la distancia, todo está bien.
The team decides to conduct a Ouija board session, which is not recommended for amateur explorers, by the way, to see if they can get any activity. Not long after starting, a very faint voice can be heard on the audio.
¿Hay alguien aquí?
Oh, escuchan. I have a spot.
It sounds as if there are words in there, but it is almost impossible to make out. The voice can be heard speaking, over questions being asked. Could someone be trying to communicate? Soon they get an answer of yes on the board after being asked a question, and the board remains active for some time. When asked if it is a man, it responds no. Throughout the session, dogs can be heard barking wildly in the background. The dogs were rather quiet prior to starting the Ouija board, and now they are nearly frantic. Animals are known to be sensitive of the paranormal. Could they be distressed at what the team is doing? Or is there another explanation? In the midst of the session, by far the most bizarre event happens. Alfondo's attention is called away to a strange light manifesting on the opposite side of the building from where they are. In the opposite corner, it appears as if a flame has been lit, flickering. Suspicious others might be in the building. They call out and make their way to the area. One of the team members shows a few photos she took, and along with the glow of a fire, the windows make it appear to be daylight outside. However, the video camera always showed the windows to be dark. Furthermore, the photo camera was not using a flash, meaning it could not be a reflection. What could this mean? They decide to do a spirit box session, and instantly, the sounds the box makes sound straight out of a horror movie itself. While it is most likely caused by the rapid switching through radio frequencies, we have never heard another session sound as terrifying as this. Alfonso walks with the device to the other end of the building, and throughout hears some disturbing sounds. First, what sounds like someone wailing in distress. The most disturbing capture of the night is what sounds like a child crying out in fear or pain. It's hard to imagine what could have happened at the location, as it appears some manner of horrors still reside there, endlessly crying out in the afterlife. This haunted mansion isn't a Disney theme park ride. It's the real deal. On the Chills Narrator subreddit, Be More Talk submitted this freaky video in July of 2019 writing, "This video was made while it was 115 degrees out, and I say this because while we were filming, we noticed that someone was in the top floor of this 42-room mansion that was built in the 1800s. The Uplands Mansion appears to be rather decrepit and is buried in nature. Lots of trees around and ivy growing up the mansion walls. Perfect scene for a ghost sighting." The video navigates the overgrown shrubbery surrounding the exterior of the mansion, some of which is covered with graffiti. At one point, as the YouTuber notes, there appears to be someone in the upper window. The YouTuber says someone keeps poking their head in and out of the window, but the visual is not clear. Whatever it is, it's enough to keep them out of that mansion, at least for now. After a series of unexpected passings in his family, YouTuber Slightly Scared 2012 experienced this. Do you see a face in the fabric? The YouTuber believes it's his departed cousin's face. The cousin in question passed away, falling from a highway overpass, and within hours, this face appeared on the seat of the chair while the YouTuber was sitting in it. I wish we had a picture of his cousin to compare, but nevertheless, I definitely see a face here, but whether it's pareidolia or not is the big question. When Gulf of Mexico explorers ventured deep below the sea, they may not have been expecting to get creeped out from what they found down there. The EV Nautilus was able to capture footage of a ghost shark, also called a chimera, near Grenada in the Caribbean. Ghost sharks are rarely seen, as they're usually too deep, anywhere from 8,500 feet to around 650 feet. For marine communities to capture on film, and this particular ghost shark was even rarer, as it had an eerie smile and was riddled with parasites. To capture this amount of creepiness on video underwater is quite a feat. A team member said, "He looks like he's smiling. It's like a Joker smile." Don't know about you, but I'd cringe to be on the receiving end of this smile. William Sloan has no idea what to make of this paranormal evidence and is asking for help from experts, because he admits he doesn't know much about the other side. He was playing with a Ouija board when he made contact with a ghost who calls itself James. William must have forgotten to properly end the ceremony, because ever since then, scary stuff like this happens way too often around his now haunted home.
Just rock it a little bit. Just a little bit.
Obviously, there's no one behind it or near it except for him, but the lighting is a little low, so maybe he was pulling on a piece of string to make it look like a ghost is moving the chair. Weeks later, William tries his best to harness some type of relationship with the spirit. Train it, if you will. One of the paranormal experiments is called the candle trick, and it involves trying to get James to move the candle around.
One more time.
Most objects, when pulled with a string, will glide over the smooth surface of a table. This sounds different, like it's being pushed down into the table with some amount of friction. William also claims to have been trying to get James to blow the candle out, but I guess that hasn't been caught on video yet. If you're still not sure what to make of this, you're not alone. Sometimes William himself has doubts, but whenever he does, it seems like the ghost has more scary moments to show.
I don't know. Just a little bit. I'm not convinced.
Even assuming the sliding glass door was open, the timing of the wind gust is undeniable. Much like the candle, William says he's not convinced, and then James convinces him.
Holy.
William has saved the best paranormal evidence for last. This time he gives James a new object, a bell. He doesn't believe in modern ghost hunting equipment and believes a simpler approach will yield the best results. He rings the bell a few times to show James that it works and then invites him to do the same.
You did that. Just give me one good ring if you're there. You see that? That happening?
Since William asked for help, I'll give my overall analysis. I think videos like this are hard to fake. I've seen a lot of them, and this is probably the most convincing, because I don't know how he could be faking ghost movement from that close. In other words, the bizarre activity is probably real. The CCTV video was taken after hours at a business in Ogden, Utah. All is quiet until a full-speed plate dives out of a cabinet and shatters all over the break room floor. A security guard on patrol walks over and simply stares at the broken plate for over 10 full seconds before grabbing another to verify what just happened. Neither one can think of a proper explanation. They check the shelf and it looks fine. Let me know if you have any explanation for this video besides the paranormal. Unless the whole video is fake and someone off camera pulled a string, then I have no idea how that plate could have fallen. While house sitting for his aunt, Reddit user Notel4117 saw something on a nanny cam that freaked him out. First, he shows us the room in question.
So this is my aunt's son's room. Okay. There's no one in here. Right? Nothing.
Then he shows us what he saw.
Right on the monitor here. Tell me that doesn't look like someone standing in the room. Like,
does it look like something standing in the room to you?
Like I've checked, like went back and forth 3 times, and
He even does a side-by-side to try and make sense of it.
So, okay. Nothing, right? Like, what the f***?
He then sets up the monitor, grabs a ball from another room, and throws it in there to see if anything changes on the monitor.
Okay, alright. There is definitely something in there.
The mysterious figure is still there. Many in the comments think the T-Rex and other items in the room may be casting shapes that create the shadow figure's form. Like others in the thread, I'm thinking it's probably a shitty nanny cam that doesn't capture shadows in their subtleties. So many objects in the room are coming together to make what looks like a figure. After all, the camera did make the T-Rex look like a terrifying baby. Is something in this Redditor's bed? Redditor Zealous Ideal Art 8526 shares a video of something sinking into the bed while they and their dog are sleeping. Take a look. It almost looks like the bed deflates. At the same time, a shadow appears on the back wall. Watch again. While the Redditor clarifies that the shadow may be caused by the TV, the rest isn't as clear. No one in the comments has any theories as to what it might be. Most agree that it's paranormal activity, or at least consider it odd. The movement is so strange. I don't have any explanations either. I'd like to see more evidence within this home. When YouTuber Exploration Unknown visited a haunted house built on cursed land, he heard a female ghost speak. Let's hear what she has to say.
Now, to the young lady, can you tell me your name?
Now look in the right-hand window of the door. It looks like someone is standing there and then moves to the side.
Now, to the young lady, can you tell me your name?
The spirit repeats her name many times. Abigail wants to be free.
Say Annie. Free me.
When he asks what happened to Abby, he gets a response.
Annie, what happened to you?
To me, it sounds like she passed away during some sort of battle. I'm sure she has a reason to stick around here after, but it probably wasn't to be paranormally investigated. This hunter captured the prey of his life while on an expedition. Published by Bigfoot's Testimony in January of 2022, the mysterious encounter occurred in a wooded area in Ohio. The footage shows a strange, grassy-looking creature creeping between the trees on a snowy fall day. The man says the creature's hair is gray or black. Zooming in, the figure is barely discernible from its surroundings, like he's camouflaged. Most in the comments confirm that they've seen similar creatures in the forest. Tanner Urza writes, these beings are very spiritual and in tune with nature. Others note that at some points it looks like a barely visible, partially invisible shadow. Is this the Grassman of Ohio, or do we have another legendary creature on our hands? Either way, I think I'll be staying clear of that forest. Most ghosts don't ask for permission, they just let themselves in. Published in January of 2022, Amitav Paranormal Tech YT writes that during her last live stream, her REM pod activated, so she decided to leave some equipment on during the night. She also left her security cameras on. Here's what they captured. The door of the room swings open, apparently letting no one in. A light to the side on a table then turns on and blinking can be seen throughout the room. What just let itself in? Is it something to be feared? Either way, it definitely wants itself to be known. This footage is terrifying to any cyclist on the road. Published in April of 2022, Cycling Mikey writes, The footage was given to me by a subscriber who asked me to make the video available in case anyone knows this man and is willing to give his details. He had videoed the driver using his mobile phone, and the driver took exception to that. Captured at around 10:30 p.m. in July of 2021, the footage shows a cyclist riding as fast as he can from the car in question. He is calling out to any passers-by to call the police.
Help me! Holy police! Holy police! Help me! Help me!
The car is clearly chasing him. It even drives up on the sidewalk at one point as the cyclist tries to escape. The cyclist luckily eventually loses the driver, pulls into a driveway and drops his bike to the ground. Commenters call this outrageous and criminal behavior. Well, at least one commenter was able to capture the license plate number. Was it enough to find the culprit, or does he have dodgy plates? Sadly, I was never able to find out. A YouTuber named Ghost Chic believes she has a problem in her home of the paranormal variety. One day her dog just starts patrolling the living room, as if on guard even though there is nothing out of the ordinary and no strange noises. I'm wondering if it is annoyed by something on television, or at something we can't see standing there.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Whatever it is, he seems satisfied that it's gone for now, but then he tries to track it. Meanwhile, notice how the smaller dog doesn't seem to care at all.
Is everything okay?
Down.
It's definitely weird, although maybe it could have just been a bug or something, but still that doesn't explain how on a different day, both of her dogs get up to see who's at the door. The door opens and I think I might see a shadow pass through, though it could be the outside light. As soon as she's coming in to see what's wrong, the barely discernible orb passes overhead, unseen to her at the time but caught on camera nonetheless. And when she later goes ghost hunting using a Kinect in the same room, she detects a spirit by the window.
I went up hand so you can see that there's no one else over there with her. No one's on my curtain.
Then something eerie happens. So is this a paranormal encounter? Or is this person waving their hand at 38 seconds, also moving it with their hand during this part? I'll let you decide. These underground tunnels in Manchester, England, were once used to escape air raids in the 1940s. Countless people huddled for their lives down here in mass, and their collective theory is thought to have left a haunting impression ever since. Now a YouTube channel called Dark Arts TV investigates these tunnels to see what he can discover with his own eyes. It isn't long before his blue light shines upon a rail-thin figure standing at a bizarre angle. They are a good distance away, but it looks like they might be wearing baggy trousers and a vest with oversized sleeves, reminiscent of the 40s era. If this is not a ghost to you, then what do you think this is? As he turns the corner, his camera picks up what appears to be a pair of human legs hanging out a small hole in the wall. What's most terrifying is how Dark Arts TV doesn't seem to notice the legs at the time, as if they weren't visible in real life. And to further back this theory, when you pause at 24 minutes and 28 seconds, the beam of his flashlight seems to move through them. Finally, as they prepare to leave, they encounter this shadowy face directly behind them. It doesn't look like a person per se, but rather the fading memory of someone who was present, now doomed to repeat a terrifying moment forever.
Eyebrows, a hairline, the chin. You can even see at the bottom here, if you can just cast it under my thumb, where I'm covering now. There, you can see the line of his neck as his head is bent round the corner.
This video was posted on my subreddit by someone in Palo Alto, California. For well over a minute, these large lights jump all around the sky, changing direction seemingly at random without logic or reason. After a while, the mysterious lights slowly lower to the ground, almost as if landing somewhere unseen.
Yo, what is that?
Oh my gosh.
They're like moving around.
Look at that.
What is that?
This landing maneuver strongly suggests that this is some kind of controlled aircraft, though exactly what it's being controlled by is anyone's guess. The person who posted this video claims to be a pilot and has absolutely no idea what this could be. I thought this could be an experiment with flares, but they say military flares are much smaller and move differently. Whatever it was, I would be particularly worried because, according to his estimations, the strange lights apparently landed about 20 miles from his house. According to YouTuber Steve Ronan, this mansion used to be a hideout of an individual who ended many lives, but Steve discovered it wasn't empty. While he's in the cellar, he has a bit of a surprise.
It's a tiny, little cellar. That's creepy. Whoa! Oh my! I can see a mouse right there just staring at me.
As he's continuing to search the place, he wonders if someone's living here.
Kind of looks like this is being used, too. It's a dead cockroach on the floor. That's pretty nasty.
Soon they realize they shouldn't be here.
Okay, we should get out soon.
And this confirms it.
This is getting creepy now. This might be lab. That's what we're thinking.
And now it's time to leave.
Yeah. This was a famous artist's house.
I think a gang is using this. Let's get out.
This exploration just kept going from bad to worse. I probably would have left the minute I found out it was once the hideout of a very evil person. A YouTube channel called DYP Official finds some kind of abandoned facility way out of the woods. One climbs to the top of a big blue container and sticks their head over the end, which is scary for reasons I'll get back to soon enough. Two other large vats grab their attention.
Found a whole thing of sulfuric acid in the woods. Sulfuric acid. Yo, please stop, bro, please. Bro.
He would have kept turning the release valve had they both not shouted at him to stop. I don't know if it was full, but if so, he would have been in deep trouble and might not have survived an acid spray. In the shed, they find a gas mask and large science beakers used to hold chemicals. One of the vials is still full, so they take it outside for a better look until their friend grabs it from them.
Boom!
Luckily for them, it doesn't break. Breathing in any unknown chemical, whether indoors or outdoors, could end up with them on the floor. Inside of an abandoned building, they find a label that got me curious. I googled what polyseed inoculum is, and the answer sheds light on what this facility really is. Basically, this is used to break down biological waste. They've been playing around in a biological waste treatment center the whole time, touching things that ordinarily require a full biohazard suit to handle. Whatever chemicals they were handling probably were not safe, and the air quality can't be much better. The type of place that could really mess you up after maybe a few visits. In other words, certainly not a place where you'd ever want to stick your face over an old chemical vat and take a big whiff. Residents in Tallahassee, Florida, feared for their lives when this strange and haunting sound echoed throughout their area for over 20 minutes.
It's not back that way, it's up in this corner. Don't go out there.
There's little doubt that this video is real, as you can hear the fear in the family's voices.
Get the kids in the bathroom.
I hear the wind.
Get the kids in the bathroom.
Get the bathroom. Get.
I thought it was a tornado, but the person in the video doesn't. They called 911 and learned that police were apparently flooded with concerned complaints about the noise. The person who recorded this footage says that the local news was told to report this as an airplane. This doesn't really sound like an airplane to me. There's one other strange occurrence, a sudden flash of lightning that instantly makes the noise disappear.
If it is to get into a state. Uh-oh, what was that? I don't hear it anymore, Till. Stop.
I've never been in a tornado before, so I can't say if this video looks normal or not. I'm especially looking for opinions from people who have been in one. Do you agree with the uploader that this could have been something more than a tornado, like a government weather experiment? A YouTube channel called Finsk Dashcam is simply a collection of videos from a person's drive to and from work. One upload has thousands more views than any other because of how creepy it is, and also because it's difficult to come up with a satisfying way to explain it. So Finsk is driving to work when someone forces him to the other lane. As he's getting closer, he discovers it's an older woman standing in his lane. She remains suspended in this position and does not so much as turn her head to acknowledge him. In fact, we never see her face at all. Does she even have one? Light snow covers the cars, but does not cover her, so she could have not been standing here for long. Still, it is very cold out, and yet not once do I see any indication of her breath. Is she alive? A ghost? Finsk slows down, and I want to say he helps her, but the video ends before we get a chance to really see. This was made in 2017, and no update has been provided, so I guess what happened next will have to stay a mystery. A Reddit user named Never2 shared the following video hoping for some potential answers as to what his mother captured on her driveway security camera late one night. What starts off as a simple piece of home surveillance footage quickly turns into something utterly pulse-pounding, as you will soon see. Wow. So I'm just going to pause it again once it comes on screen here. We see a couple orbs just kind of flying around, but right here, this sort of ghostly presence starts here, disappears again, completely off screen, but is going to come back again right here and just kind of float off into the distance. I think what's especially freaky is that part right here where it's almost like the security camera glitches out and you can see it just a bit better once it does, which is just freaky to me. Kind of goes back and forth there and then it's just completely off screen to not be seen again. Just super creepy stuff. The strange figure's appearance on camera alone would be enough for some people to believe this is a paranormal entity, which is very understandable. But then again, it could be explained as a camera trick. But as soon as this strange flickering happens off to the left side of the screen, it is certainly hard to pass this off as anything but a ghost. Usually ghost videos are fairly hotly debated, but the comment section on this particular Reddit post seems to be in agreement that something odd was captured on the OP's mom's home surveillance camera. Whatever it is exactly, though, is still uncertain. Experts have yet to debunk a YouTube channel claiming to break the very boundaries of space and time. The channel features no less than 8 videos taking place over the course of a year, which focus on a strange glowing device. The device apparently uses different tones and frequencies to experiment with interdimensional travel. Here you can see the first real signs of success from a video in 2017.
There's fracture.
Some sort of molecular rift opens between his very eyes and looks very convincing. The rift appears to move very realistically with the camera and does not look to be CGI. After a few months of research and careful adjustments, he finally figures out the correct combination of frequencies to open the rift wider than ever before. Again, nothing about this looks like CGI to me. The way the rift moves with the camera would have been very hard to digitize frame by frame in my opinion, especially when the camera goes out of focus at the 1 minute 50-second mark. Soon the edges of the rift grow thin, and another world emerges. If this video is to be believed, then what you could be staring into is an alternate timeline of our own world. So far, video editing experts have yet to disprove this video, so let me know if you think it's fake or real based on what you've seen here. This creepy video takes viewers on an adventure around the world through Google Earth, and what we discover is not of this world. Published by Kanon Mujik, the journey begins with a zoom toward Japan. Landing on the streets of an unknown city, Google Earth pans skyward between two buildings and spies this thing floating above. It looks like a squid or octopus. The dark figure's details are difficult to make out, but it has two thin limbs, a short abdomen, and a football-shaped head. What is this thing? Is it an extraterrestrial? Is it some creepy kite? Or is it the ocean in the sky? This place is 100% haunted. YouTuber Tomcat0031 captured a shadow figure streaking past the door on a floor that was empty at the time. You need no instruction on where to look. This one is hard to miss.
Right, this is filmed in there. Right, both me and Joe see the shadow go across this room here. Bub! Somebody's in there. Mate, I tell you what, you're doing a good job.
The way it moves doesn't seem natural, and you don't hear footsteps. It's almost like it's gliding past.
Bub! Somebody's in there. Mate, I tell you what, you're doing a good job.
Notice that you see the darkness move across the crack to the left of the door, and then you see a larger black darkness to the right of the doorway. The former looks more solid to me, which suggests that it's a solid figure, and the latter looks like a shadow being cast by that figure. Lastly, in the crack to the left, you see a figure move again in the other direction. This makes me think that whatever is there made a small circle around the room, and the way the light falls casts a shadow on the far right-hand wall for a moment. But whether whatever is there is paranormal or not is the real question. A YouTuber from India called Explore Dark goes on a paranormal investigation at an abandoned house that's beyond creepy and also beyond haunted. Nothing happens for a full 11 minutes until they clear the first floor and find the second floor has been mysteriously blocked off.
Stop. Hay nitingin sir.
After removing the barricade and going upstairs, their paranormal investigation goes majorly wrong. They run to where they last heard the loudest sound and find the room to be empty. The scary moment caught on tape is when the team of would-be ghost hunters finally lose their cool. They run out of the house in record time and are left panting on the street. I don't think they were close enough to this door to reach out and slam it themselves. It almost had to be the work of a ghost. This church is apparently haunted. YouTube team Signs and Signals returned to an abandoned church that's haunted them since one of their first paranormal investigations. First, they head to the cemetery to recall where they saw this.
And yep, right over there.
Went straight to that bush.
It looks like an extra large bat, maybe a vampire mid-transformation. As they're checking around the bush, they hear something come from the church.
Well, people were saying it was going in the bush. We checked it plenty of times. Dale?
That was...
You know what that means.
100% in the church.
They approach and peer in through a window.
I swear.
Door. I heard the door.
Yeah, I swear to God, I just heard the door do something, like something knocked on the door.
Something is in there, but they have yet to see it. When they near the door, they find it open.
better come on around from there. Come on. And...
Once inside, the creepy feeling escalates.
I already feel like I'm like being stared at everywhere I look. How long?
As long as it takes.
As Dale is talking about the last experience he had here, a light behind him flickers.
I started feeling all weird and like hot and everything and started getting all mad and stuff.
But behind you, Dale, behind you. Light. It's not the same one.
Is this real? It's not that light.
It's not the same one.
When they approach the spirit, it makes its presence known.
No knock a book over. Did you hear that?
I thought that was you.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They investigate further, then they capture this.
Oh my.
Dale.
Please tell me you got that.
Right? I did.
You got that?
I did.
There's something in this church, and they don't want this paranormal team trespassing. Not at all.
Cool and pretty clear, and it's so...
Oh my... Dale,
see,
I told you. It's the piano. It's the piano, dude. Oh my...
In my opinion, it's time for them to leave this place, especially after they managed to photograph this. That terrifying shadow sends the coldest of chills down my spine. Without a doubt, this place appears haunted to me. Something in the woods is about to blow this cop's mind and his eardrums. He walks back with wide eyes and puts his flashlight away, completely done with the situation until backup arrives. But backup doesn't seem to do much better. I think this could be a recording because the scream sounds exactly the same both times. So maybe somebody put a really good speaker system in the woods, or maybe that's just what I'm choosing to believe because I don't want to accept that this is real. A YouTube channel called Good Cemeteries Gone Bad captures this scraggly sighting in broad daylight while investigating the Anclote Cemetery in Florida. They wanted to know if this was a spider web or a spirit, and I know that different spiders make different looking webs, but I have to say this looks like no spider web that I have ever seen before around where I live. Plus, look at the way it simply disappears upon hitting the light. That's not normal. So if you live in Florida, please let us know if this looks like any of the webs in your area, because I'm inclined to say that this is the paranormal at work. A group of British ghost hunters are walking around the Wilney graveyard in search of paranormal evidence. It's late at night when they apparently find exactly what they are looking for. Pay close attention to the area between the two tombstones or you might miss it.
What the f was that?
The man's flashlight passes over a tall silhouette that makes him pause. It looks like it could have simply been some shadows playing against the wall, but they light up the entire area. And there's no wall to be found. Let me know if you saw the strange shadowy figure and what you think it could have been. What are you afraid of? What can really make you scream? This entry was submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit. The user explains that the clip was found on TikTok. Footage shows a guy sleeping at 1:16 in the morning with the text, "He snores so loud." According to the video, the next night is shown subsequently. This time, the man is sleeping in a very awkward position, with his arms up in the air. Even stranger, the drawer from the bedside table appears to open of its own accord. A short time later, the man is in a new position, and as he turns over, if you focus on the nightstand, a bottle slides strangely sideways, falling on the floor. The man appears to be suffering from some evil spirit being exorcised, as his body contorts aggressively on the bed.
I don't know, this guy's just being told. You want to shut Stop. Hey, what the f?
Whoever is taking the video leaves the room, and when he returns, the sleeping man is kneeling in the corner. What's going on here? It is suggested could just be night terrors. Others lean more towards the paranormal, however. They suggest the man is possessed. What do you think? Paranormal activity? Possession? It is certainly baffling, and I think we need more footage to fully solve this mystery. Is this phantom nurse here to heal you or to hurt you? Published by Luan Mendez in May of 2020. Luan and his crew are exploring an abandoned hospital whose staff hasn't really left. Wandering the halls, they seem to turn down one hallway where they seem to spot something skulking in the darkness. The thing must have disappeared, so they move on, continuing in their search, and that's when they see her, Nurse Ratchet.
Take your hands up! Meu Deus! Take your hands up!
They race away as fast as they can, and one of the crew falls unexpectedly to the ground. It almost looks like he was clotheslined by something invisible. The crew manages to make it out of the hospital alive, and that's no thanks to the creepy phantom nurse. When you're a paranormal investigator, sometimes entities attach themselves to you, so watch your back. The YouTube team Spirit Stalkers were followed home by a demon. While in this haunted prison, they start hearing things.
That's you, do it right now, loud!
Bro, what? Oh my...
Are you serious?
Did you hear that?
Yes, I did. What the
A little later, they hear something even louder.
What the is that?
Was that a firework or?
That was way too loud.
That was right above me, dude.
They ask the spirit if it knows one of the team members.
Yeah, do you know Jake already?
If you do, can you make a noise or make an equipment go off?
Oh my bro!
Wow.
Oh my.
Why is it me?
Later, while using the Connect app, they receive a message from the unseen.
Help me! Help me! Oh my. Who's asking for help? What? This is insane right now. Are you the cop?
He tries to communicate with the spirits, and then the REM pod is triggered.
Oh my. I literally just saw something in front of me and then the REM pod goes off. Oh my. David, is that you? And then it stops.
But in the end, they feel that whatever is here has attached itself to Jake.
And it involved you. It involved Jacob Bruce from Bruce Nation. Seriously though, I almost made us leave. It was so terrifying and so disturbing. I almost pulled us out of the investigation. It would have been a first. Dude, something here does not like you.
Do spirits dislike specific people? I'm sure they do. There's probably something in Jake's own spirit that is too pure for them. The Great Salt Air in Salt Lake City is full of secrets. YouTube team Broken Wings Paranormal joins forces with Cold Spot Paranormal and discovers a giant figure is lurking in this spooky place.
Is he dancing? Can you raise your arm? This? Wave high? Hand up?
They capture the figure on the Kinect device in a dark room. Is it a giant?
Look how huge that is. I know. Can you bend over and touch your toes?
It's growing. Its head is like almost off the screen on the little side.
Josh tries to reach out and touch it, and he feels something supernatural.
No, but I feel tinglies on my fingertips.
Stand up and let's see what happens. Oh, look at it leaning the other way.
It's like it's propping itself up with its elbow.
As Josh gets closer, the entity disappears.
Where he is. Oh,
he's left.
You put your arm on it now.
You touched him and he left.
And he just...
Really?
Yeah, the minute you make contact.
In a surprising turn of events, it looks like the ghost got frightened by the living. It seems to me that Josh entered the spirit's personal space and they didn't like it at all. While exploring an abandoned paper mill, the crew from YouTube channel Blow 6 captured two mysterious events simultaneously, an EVP and an apparition. To me, the apparition is clear as day. You see it emerge from the right to the center of the screen, as if it's drifting down the tunnel, but the EVP is not as clear. It sounds like a bird cawing. That's not the only mysterious thing about this clip. I also noticed a strange flicker in the light at the beginning of the video. Watch the backlight closely. Was that a camera glitch? Or is some entity fiddling with the light switch? I think this phantom is up to something. YouTuber Hey Charmaine began posting about her experiences in her home. As her story unfolds, so does a terrifying truth shared by YouTube channel The Gravedigger. This scary video shows how Charmaine's horror story escalated. It all started with this strange object she found.
I got a pack of Pepperdine like 10 years ago, but it's modeled after the Bodhidharma, and I don't usually take it out.
After setting up security cameras in her room, she captured things moving unexpectedly. A few days later, while the dog was sitting for her friend, this happens.
Why are you whining, baby? Cooper, what are you staring at?
There's nothing in the hallway.
Later, she captured a figure watching her home in the darkness of night, and then heard something inside.
What is he doing?
After deciding to go stay at her parents' house for a while, things escalated. Watch the doorway behind Charmaine.
It would have been really nice not to let me stay there and...
What was that thing?
Oh my god.
I'm not sure what this figure is, but it seems to be related to the mysterious object that Charmaine found. With all these strange events unfolding, Charmaine has lasted a lot longer here than I would have. A YouTube channel called Abandoned Explorer heads to an old house that is so eerie, it's best to go by day. I hear a strange noise in this video at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Is this a creepy sigh?
So I'm going to guess this is like some sort of living room area.
They are in the center of the house, so I don't think that it can be the wind. Anyway, they continue exploring until one of them yells for assistance. Perhaps they've made contact with someone on the other side.
Oi! What? There, mate! What's going on, mate? Whoa!
But as it turns out, they've only made contact with the other side of the floor and now dangle helplessly.
I just fell through!
They do show the same hole earlier at 6 minutes and 12 seconds though, so this might have been staged. I can tell because this distinctive yellow area is seen in both shots. This cat is playfully smacking around a Brillo pad when it stops to look straight up, ears back completely frozen, almost as if someone invisible is standing over it. Next, an orb floats upwards and makes it jump straight into the air. After a while, the house pet regains interest in its toy, only to stop and look around again, slightly bewildered. It looks at its owner briefly and then follows the orb with its head in a swooping motion. Possibly the very same orb as before. There's no doubt that the cat sees something out of the ordinary as it tracks the orb perfectly. Both times it completely loses interest in the toy and seems somewhat alarmed over an unseen presence. I guess there could be some other explanation, but if I was alone and saw all of this going on, I would definitely question if my house was haunted. A reminder that you never know what or who is behind you. This short clip will have you looking over your shoulder. The video shows a man entering a small elevator. A ghostly woman enters slightly behind him. You can see her in the mirror, distracted on his phone. The man doesn't seem to notice he has company, but when he turns around, the woman has vanished. He is alone in the lift, or at least appears to be. Those in the comments are dying to know where the phantom stalker went, and whether or not this man made it out of the elevator. I hope he's alright, but it's really not looking like that's the case. A man in New Zealand is stopped at a gas station when this orange light rips by overhead in a perfect arc. It was accompanied by a high-pitched sound that broke the audio on his camera and hurt his ears. I don't think that it's car headlights, because it approaches from a weird angle, plus the way it moves is far from normal. Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Ramsey Rocks 2023, this Redditor wrote, UFO over my yard in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. My neighbor called me over as I was out walking my dog and he was filming this. It made no sound. You can hear him talking in the background. He handed me the phone because he was shaking so hard. Traffic went by on the road as if we were the only ones who saw this. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
Okay, what the? I don't have. Okay, gang, I don't know what I'm looking at here. This is when they're over the trees in my backyard right now. You can hear the crickets and stuff. The cars go by. What's that? Oh.
There was certainly a wide array of opinions about this video in the comments. It's just hearsay wrote, nice footage, while other alternative 75 wrote, those are Elon Musk's SpaceX satellites. Which side are you on here? Unidentified flying object or satellite? Let me know in the comments. A YouTube channel called Sanders Fam has a bizarre sighting on their Tesla motion tracking equipment that they think is a paranormal ghost encounter. The dash icon displays a mysterious figure where none is to be found. Detecting invisible people is something their car has never done before, and is quite an odd coincidence considering they're passing through a cemetery at the time. It accurately detects two people a good distance away at 3 minutes and 39 seconds. It keeps happening on the same corner of the same block. The icon of someone riding a bike dashing away from them.
There it is.
They are getting creeped out and wonder what it is. That's when they realize around the corner is the final resting place of a YouTuber named Corey Lavery. They talk about him for a while, and then as they drive away,
There's nobody there.
Now he's walking that way.
Something walks by his grave. Now that is certainly a strange series of events. This homeowner in Montgomery, Texas catches a stranger in distress on their doorbell cam. It's about 3 in the morning when a woman frantically rings the bell at the Sunrise Ranch subdivision. Look again and you'll notice what could be shackles dangling from both of her arms, suggesting this person could have been taken captive and recently freed themselves. The sheriff's department is worried that this woman may have been running for her life and trying to get help from the nearest home. Police released this video in August of 2018 hoping for anonymous tips, but so far no one has come forward with any explanation. As for who this woman is or what happened to her on that fateful night, no one can say for sure. In the 9th century, Mount Fuji erupted over 6 months, burying entire villages. This led to dense forest growing over a massive lava field known as Aokigahara, or the Sea of Trees. YouTuber Steve Ronan visits Japan's most haunted forest, and he is in danger. While standing and talking in the darkness, a loud roar is heard off screen. The strangest thing about this is the guys don't seem to notice or acknowledge it.
The capture.
Wait, what is an SOS?
SOS
Obviously, I know what SOS means.
They're hearing things though, and the spirits give them a clue.
Strangled.
Again! Bro, that was a weird voice because it sounded like from there and then just circled around us.
It just said strangled again as well.
This could be a different
Double?
person now.
Strangled again?
They speak to the spirits with a recording device, and the spirits tell them exactly where they are.
Well, it sounded like this is
Hang on, let me...
What is this? Are they reaching out from the beyond? I don't know if it's just my knowledge about this place's haunted history, but the ambiance here makes me feel unsettled, and that roar is going to haunt me.
Wait, what is an SOS?
SOS.
This one's a head scratcher. TikToker elkakoi.tv shares this mysterious video that's a total nightmare. Watch around the side of the door.
The f is that? What the f was that?
At first, it looks to me like a ghost peeking out sideways at the guy, but TikTokers are floating other theories as to what the heck that was.
Bro, what was that?
Well, I think Cap like Caleb could be right that it was this mirror. It's the reflection in the mirror that's throwing people off. That could be anything, but to me it looks like someone covering their abnormally large face with their hands. What do you think it is? A man in Malaysia is being haunted by a paranormal activity that stays right outside his home. He has the door partially open to show that there's not anyone knocking on his door. When he opens the door fully, it's gone, but only until nightfall. When he goes to look outside, nothing is there. Nothing except for this bizarre sighting in the distance.
Baru terjadi sekarang nih, Bob.
If you were thinking this is a ray of light reflecting into the camera, so did I. But that same night he claims the figure looked at him through the window, and here you can see its hooded face with large, hollow black eyes. The fact that this is an image when the rest is video makes me think this is a Photoshop that he doesn't have the editing skills to make into a video, but seeing this makes me want to look over my shoulder at the window behind me nonetheless. A YouTuber named Rifat claims that going to this haunted place in Palestine proved to be a psychological undoing. Let's see what was so scary in this paranormal exploration gone wrong. He seems to have trouble keeping his balance and stumbles backwards twice for no reason.
يا شباب بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا شباب وانت جرب الله يقطع شر يوم تمت بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
At this point, I think he realizes there's no way he should be falling 3 times in 5 minutes and thinks a ghost could be near. As he is trying to decide if this is really happening or just his imagination, some of the best paranormal EVP evidence ever recorded is caught on camera.
هذه قصة وانا والله العظيم خايف يعني ممنوع في الليل عن جد ممنوع يعني نطلع هيك كمان ايه ايش هاد
Loud and scary screaming noises are coming from the woods. The screams of a human, most certainly not an animal.
من وين اطلع
He doesn't investigate the noise because this could be a spirit setting up a trap that he is too smart to fall for. I'm glad he didn't go any further. If he had gone any deeper into the forest to see what it was, then this scary video might not ever have been uploaded. I have a feeling that he narrowly avoided getting ambushed by some group of bandits or even something paranormal. After renting a Verbo for the weekend, YouTube team FV Family winds up in this creepy cabin in the woods, and that's when things get real. They find a hole in the wall that may be there for nefarious purposes.
That's like perfect for a spy camera.
What do you think? What is this all about? And does it tie in with the possible secret entrance that they find in this cryptic room?
Entranceway. Oh, heck no.
I'm not sure, but things aren't adding up here, and this is looking like the B&B I don't want to stay at. Diane thinks she has caught a ghost on video crossing her living room around 3 a.m. The ghost is a woman with long hair whose back is turned. For months, Diane has been feeling something paranormal in her house, and if you look closely, you'll see her cat Noah wake up and look to where the ghost of a weird woman just walked by. There are no other paranormal videos on Diane's channel at all. The rest is 3 years of content about a niche hobby that has nothing to do with the spirit world, which makes me think it could be a real paranormal incident. With that said, I found another video that shows she roughly has the same hair length as the woman who says she was a ghost, so I'm on the fence with this one. This creepy encounter was posted to Reddit by Ghosty Phase. A Ring doorbell camera captured a young woman's stalker. The woman says she was followed home from Walmart, and her stalker showed up on her doorstep. At first, the man appears to be looking for his own keys, but then he fails to find any and peers around the corner of the house. Many are wondering if the creep left something for his victim. Although we can agree that this is beyond creepy and edging into full-on horror, I do think this footage reminds us not to trust anyone. You never know when you could cross paths with someone like this. Some ghosts just want a little attention. This one apparently isn't getting enough. Published by Jeff Miller in April of 2018. Watch closely as this ghost takes his revenge in this family's kitchen. Something flies off the wall shortly into the video that the uploader says is a picture. Having heard the disturbance, the home's resident enters the frame, heading into the kitchen. Did he come face to face with his ghost roommate? Unlikely, but maybe he should take the hint. The roommate wants the house to himself. This one's pretty straightforward. A ghost is poltergeisting this kitchen chair in YouTuber Eclectic Nonsense's home, and there's no denying it. The chair is being driven at the cameraman, and he can't seem to get away from it, but that's where the clip cuts out. Did the ghost officially drive the human out? If so, I'm impressed by his persistence. Don't accept help from just anyone. They might not be what you think. YouTuber Scaryfield shares this creepy video which is trending in the Hindi-speaking YouTube community. The video is actually from YouTube channel True Horror Stories POV, and this horror story occurred on a dark road at night. In the beginning, the woman starts having car trouble in a cursed place.
Mati dah pula.
After pulling to the side of the road, a random stranger stops to help her.
Oh, Cik. Kereta saya daripada tadi tak tahu asal tak boleh start. Dia termati-mati daripada saya jalan tadi. Tak tahu apa pasal. Boleh tolong?
The guy checks out a few things, but each time the woman attempts to start her car, it's still having trouble.
Tak ada. Tak boleh. Tak tahulah asal.
The man then tells her that it's not a mechanical problem.
Tapi tadi kereta saya betul-betul mati mat. Bukan?
Dia ikut ni.
Benda ikut? Benda apa cik?
Cuba tengok kat dalam kereta sekarang.
Dalam kereta?
But rather that something attached itself to her on the cursed route she took, and maybe he was right.
Cik!
While this is just a reenactment, these incidents are said to be based on true events. Well, if this happened to me in real life, I can't imagine I'd live to tell the tale.